Hi everyone, thanks for being with me. I'm going to talk about, believe it or not, one of my favourite people, and that is Rita Panahi again. But I'm going to talk about her in relation to a move that she's made in true Rita Panahi style. So she has decided that Kevin Rudd is not the right person to be ambassador in the US. And the reason now, I just need to qualify any of what I'm about to say. Firstly, I'm not a Kevin Rudd fan. Didn't like what he did to Julia Gillard. He has narcissistic qualities. I don't necessarily see him as a nice person. But given that, I think he'd be ideal to deal with Donald Trump. And the question here is, can he speak Trump language? Now, the Trump language is simply, and I think he should, because he shares some qualities with Trump. But, to praise him, to tell him he's the greatest president that they've ever had, that his ideas are simply bordering on genius or are genius. So he could flatter Trump to the point whereby Trump couldn't give a shit about any of the things that that he has said about him before. Now, what fascinates me when they bring up conversations or statements that have been made by a person that have been anti-Trump, what fascinates me about that is that they forget about J.D. Vance and Rubio and a whole host of other people that have said nasty things about Trump. But once you start to praise the man, tell him how great he is, then he'll give in to you. And he'll start to think that you're a pretty nice bloke until such time as you say something that's detrimental or push against him. So that isn't happening with regard to Rudd. Now, from all accounts, Rudd's doing a reasonable job. He's made a lot of contacts, knows a lot of people, knows how the system works, and that he speaks Mandarin. What more could you want? So, but because he is a Labor person and an appointee by the Labor government and is in the US, then there must be every effort made by those people on Sky News and the Murdoch press to devalue him, to inform us, I guess, that he is an evil man who, because he said these terrible, terrible things against Trump, that he therefore should be barred from any activity in Washington and particularly removed from his ambassadorship. So they're out after him. Makes sense. They hate anybody that is to the left of politics, regardless of how terrible a person they are anyway. So this is what Rita has to say, and I think this is fascinating to hear her and this person that she has on, whom I do not know, which is often the case on Fox, on Sky. It interests me that they bring on people that will always generally support their view, but we, as the public, probably don't even know who they are or even care, which makes me think that perhaps people that watch Sky don't really care about the quality and the type of people they have on. They mustn't, because if you're going to be listening to Rita Panahi, then it's clearly, I guess the best I can say is you must not have any real self-esteem. And remembering, I only watch her to inform you as to what these crazy people on that side of politics and in the Murdoch press are actually saying. So here she is having a conversation with this woman about Rudd's being urged to resign.
Well, let's review why Kevin Rudd is seen as a Trump basher. He's earned that reputation. He said the president is nuts. That was constructive. He also said he's the most destructive president in history. And most incredibly, he also said he was a traitor to the West. And that is just an incredible thing for him to be saying.
I think the interesting aspect of all of that for me is that I agree with everything that Rudd had said. Don't always agree with Rudd, but on this occasion, he nailed it. And as a result of him nailing it, he deserves to have that job in the US, because Trump, frankly, couldn't give a crap about who Rudd is or Australia's position on possibly anything.
And there was also this.
The United States in the last 4 years has been run by a village idiot.
We shouldn't be surprised that the Trump administration...
Agreed. Agreed. The country is being run by the village idiot. Again, agreed. Rudd, fabulous job. You're saying what needs to be said. It is a shame that other politicians are not saying exactly the same thing, and I can't imagine you ever saying it now, given your current position. I know this may not seem to be all that relevant, but what is a Sky News contributor? What makes her? Can anybody? Well, look, I tell you what. If Rita Panahi can be a presenter on Sky News, I guess anybody can be a contributor. So I don't know who Louise Roberts is. Probably a very nice person. However, haven't done any research on her. Don't know her background either.
You were actually the most destructive president in US history. I mean, of course you wouldn't want to deal with an ambassador from Australia, given the whole relationship between us and the US has been fantastic.
And, just in passing, you wouldn't think Trump wouldn't want to deal with somebody who called him a Nazi and a fascist, would you? No, you wouldn't. However, that person happens to be his vice president. So it's kind of confusing, I think.
And strong really up until this point, and a lot of that is due to, of course, since World War II. So I really don't blame Mr. Trump at all for wanting him out of the picture and wanting someone else in the chair that he can actually deal with. But, you know, that's why I said I believe that Mr. Rudd should resign, but to that point I don't actually think he will. He'll have to be replaced. Did
she say that Trump wants him out of the picture and that it could be someone that Trump could deal with? Now, that's making an assumption that she reads Trump's mind. I mean, there's not much there anyway, so that is a possibility, I guess. But it's unlikely that Trump even knows who Rudd really is anyway. So let me know what you think about all of this. It confuses me somewhat that Sky News make up these stories and they try and convince the rest of us and their viewership in particular that there's this movement to remove Rudd. There is no movement to remove Rudd. He simply has said some things that they find offensive if you're Trump and if you care. But in reality, it's a storm in a teacup. It's as simple as that. Let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. Ring the bell for further notifications. Great to hear from you. In the meantime, take care. Look after yourselves, and more importantly, make sure that you and the people that you love are safe.